Thank you very much. Thank you, Jeff, Karen, for having me back today. As Jeff mentioned, it was a couple of years ago that I first toured Coil Pro. I was on a small business tour that I was making throughout the state during the campaign, and I was so impressed with this organization. I said, you know, it makes me think back. A husband and wife team started with just 1 or 2 people, grew a little bit. Jeff started with 1 employee and 4,000 square feet and a down payment of $1,000. Today he has 10 people working here and he has 18,000 square feet. Now, one of the things that we were talking about a little bit yesterday was that, you know, he's not expanding. He'd even considered at one point buying a building. He leases this building. He said, but, you know, the uncertainty in the marketplace prevents me from moving forward. He said, I'm even constricted by heights in this building, so they can't quite grow to where they want to be, but yet they're hesitant to move forward. And that's what we're facing, you know, in our country today with our entrepreneurs. They are a success story, and we need more of them here in Connecticut and across our country. I have seen enough of America to know what our people are capable of achieving, the enterprises we can build, the jobs and opportunities that we can create. Yet here we are, going into the 4th year of a lifeless economy, and we didn't add a single new job last month for the millions of people who want to work. It didn't have to happen that way. And for working families in Connecticut, we can't let it stay that way. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a proven job creator, and today I'm announcing that I am a candidate for the United States Senate. Thank you. We've been told that 9% unemployment is the best this country can do for months or even years to come. As if it's not enough to see this nation's credit downgraded, our own government is now trying to lower our expectations. We're not buying into that defeatist attitude, and with your help, I will go to Washington to change it. There is no reason why the largest, richest economy cannot regain its strength and create jobs for every woman and man who wants to work. The American dream is about opportunity and second chances. I know a little bit about second chances myself. If I'm a problem solver, as I tell my colleagues, it's only because I've had my share of problems to solve. For the past 25 years or so, my husband Vince and I have had plenty of success in our business, and we appreciate it all the more when we think back to the day that we filed for bankruptcy, when we lost everything and when we had to rebuild. Or when we think about the months that it took us to pay our medical bills because when our son was born, we had no health insurance. I know what our families are trying to do to survive every day. I've been there. I've walked in those shoes, and I won't ever forget. I met working mothers everywhere in my last campaign, and I was particularly struck in one instance when a young single mom came up to me and took my hands in her hands, and she said, please don't forget about me, don't forget about us. And I promised I wouldn't, because if I forget about her, then I'd lose my way and forget where I came from. 2 years ago, employment was about 8%. Today, it's over 9%. 2 years ago, the national debt was $12.6 trillion, and today it's ballooning past $15 trillion and increasing at a very faster rate than before. Interest payments on the debt alone are now more than $1 billion a day, and much of that is paid for with borrowed money from China and from other foreign sources. We were looking back 2 years ago to a terrible recession. Now we're looking forward into possibly another one. In 2 years, we've seen a massive government stimulus fail at a cost of nearly $1 trillion. We've gone from companies too big to fail to a government that, well, just simply spends too much. It is clear to most everyone now, regardless of what political party you belong to, that we're going down the wrong economic path, an economic path and track we have to get off of, and we have to get off in a hurry. In Washington, they agree that we're in a debt crisis, but they do nothing about our spending. They talk about protecting Social Security and Medicare, then they do exactly nothing. The political establishment promises to help entrepreneurs and job creators who make the economy go and create jobs, but the private sector is still waiting. It seems a good dose of common sense would go a long way. As your senator, I will go to Washington with one objective, and that is to get our state and our country back to work. I will work with Republicans, Democrats, and independents because serving our country means putting our people first. And what exactly does serving this country mean if it not passing it stronger and better to our children and grandchildren? I don't know if little Morgan is here, but I met Morgan, Jeff and Maureen's little daughter, a few minutes ago. And you know, I look at her, she reminds me of my 6 grandchildren. And if we, hi Morgan, she's what we're about. If I stand here for no other reason today, it's because of the Morgans of the world. It's that next generation. It's our children and our grandchildren that are coming forth. We have to make sure that we can give them the American dream. We have to give them the same opportunities that we've had. We can't go on pushing off our debts and our decisions and our problems for them to deal with. We have choices to make, choices that define our character and our children's future. And for their sake, we must come together and do the right thing, and we must do it now. In the coming weeks, I will offer a comprehensive jobs plan that acknowledges that economic growth is not a government program. What this economy needs is more capital, less regulation, greater confidence, and local banks that are given the freedom to lend. Unfortunately, investors and entrepreneurs are holding on to their money. They can't plan ahead because nobody knows how many more taxes, mandates, or liabilities the federal government is going to lay on us. And at a time when capital, businesses, and jobs are fleeing the United States, and unfortunately Connecticut as well, the last thing we need to do is raise taxes in a recession. And I see there's some agreement on that. Instead of raising taxes on job creators, we need a permanent, pro-growth tax cut for working middle-class families. With lower taxes, fewer regulations, and a balanced budget, we can send the clearest signal to the private business sector. Businesses will start hiring again. We can show that our government is on the side of growth, free enterprise, and jobs for American workers. I'm determined not to be just another critic of these problems. This is the greatest country in the history of the world, and we deserve leaders who live up to that standard. You might not recognize it now, but the American dream is still alive, and I know that because I'm the proof. I married my high school sweetheart 45 years ago. We have 2 wonderful children, 6 grandchildren, and a business that employs hundreds and trades on the New York Stock Exchange. It's more success than I ever counted on. And best of all, it's given me a chance to think about the success of others as a candidate for public office. In the months of hard work ahead, I must earn your vote. But we can and we must and we will fix our economy. I'm going to take my case to the people of every part, of every background, in every part of this state. I'll run a race that is candid, honest, and fair. I will never forget that it is people like Jeff and Maureen at CoilPro who make America great. And I promise never to stop working for them and for our state and for our country. I thank you very much for your attention this morning, and I will look forward in a few minutes to having some one-on-one time with you. Thank you all very, very much.